Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, my name is Laurie and I share kind of bits and pieces of my motherhood journey here on YouTube with my son Kainoa. He's like 19 months old now, and yeah. So if that's something you're into, then make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, then thank you for being on this journey with me. In today's video, I want to share some toddler mom hacks. And I'm not always a fan of like the word hacks, but I feel like some of those things are basically life hacks. Like they're really like things that you can do that will potentially change your life, or at least just make it a little bit easier, you know? So those are things I've figured out along the way, and I don't think I've come up with any of them, so they probably exist somewhere out there, but this is just the stuff I found in my life that like really improved things a little bit. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any hacks that I don't mention, make sure to leave them in the comments below for everyone. Alright, let's hop in. So my first hack is not a hack at all, but it's a thing, a tool that makes dealing with a toddler in the kitchen so much easier, and it's a learning tower or kitchen helper or something like that. It has multiple names, but having that is just so helpful. It's helpful if you want to give them a snack. It's helpful if you want them to just play at your eye level while you're doing things, or just for them to watch you and help you do cooking things in the kitchen. They just get to be counter level and still be safe. The one I have, though, I will mention because I'll insert some clips, the one I have is not the safest, because even though it does have like mesh panels that keep him from going in and out, because of the little shapes on the side, he has figured out how to climb and now can climb out of the tower onto the counter. So that has been a challenge. So, but in general, they are good. Just maybe not necessarily get the one that I have. Number two, also very common, but not to be underestimated, is toy rotation. My child cannot be entertained for very long with toys, and I'm sure other toddlers are like that too. So if we change his toys every week, then all of a sudden he has more interest towards his toy shelf. If I just leave them all out, he loses interest. And also, if there's too many out at one time, he also does not care. This is just overwhelming or something. So we found that doing weekly toy rotation is the only way to get him to actually play with his toys, which give him some independent playtime, which gives me some time to do things. Number three is a transition basket. So on this changing table, we have a little basket that's like for not clean but not dirty clothes. So clothes he's worn, hasn't stained, and can wear again, that I don't necessarily want to take the time to refold and put back in his drawer, but they're up there so you can reach them easily. And once they're dirty, they go in the laundry bin. So that works so well for us. Like, that's just a little bit less complicated than like just putting clothes that are still good in the laundry and having to do more laundry and or folding them back. So yeah, that's how we do it. Number five is to use scissors to cut food. And I'm sure I've heard that somewhere, but I never did it until like very recently, and that has changed my life. Like, it's so much better, so much easier, especially for like pastas and noodles, like so much easier. Number five is to co-view movies. We don't watch too much TV, but when we do, I find that like it's always better if we watch it with him. So if we all sit on the couch and watch a movie together, Kainoa will pay more attention to the movie. He like looks up to us for reactions, you know, like he's engaged in the movie and wants us to be engaged with him. So that's like special time for us. So yeah, I think it's nice to try to co-view movies whenever possible. Number six is to baby-proof top drawers, anchor furniture, and then door handle stoppers for places you don't want your kid to get into, as well as a door latch. So there's like obviously some baby proofing you have to do when your baby starts crawling. And for us, that included just the bottom cabinets, because he couldn't reach the top like drawers and things like that. So we'd baby proof what he would touch, but he couldn't actually reach. So we didn't baby proof like the, let's say, the utensil drawer and things like that, but now he can, and he can put his hand in it and he can pull things out. So we had to baby proof those, which we had to baby proof differently because of the counter. We couldn't do the one where like you kind of pull and then push and then can open it. So we had to find a different kind of baby proofing for that. So I'll show you what we got. Alright, so first I'll just show you what we already had. So we had these two types of things for our drawers and cabinets. So the push ones, and then like kind of a zip tie one for the ones that couldn't get pushed on. But then this is what we got for the top drawers. So it's magnetic, and you can also turn it off. So if you turn it off, which I'm demonstrating here, then it will be able to open and close like freely. So that's nice, like when you're in the kitchen and you need access like constantly, because the magnet's kind of annoying, or you can leave the magnet there. And then you can turn it back on when you're done with the drawer, and then you'll be able to lock it, and then it'll be locked. So we have like all our top drawers are basically like this now, and this is the device we're using. For wall plugs, like those are like older, but I just wanted to show them. So there's the regular one, and then there's like kind of those completely like covered ones. And then we have a third type for the ones where we had to plug things in. We use those just in places where it's like a little bit dangerous for him to pull them. So we have those. I can link them down below as well, but yeah. And we also have our trusted baby gate. We got those when we moved here, and they're perfect. They close on their own, so it's nice. And then yeah, anchoring furniture now that it can climb is important as well, so nothing falls on them. And then we haven't gotten a door latch yet because he can't reach the lock yet, but it's gonna happen in his toddler years because he's almost there. And at that point, he could run out in the middle of the street. So we want to get like kind of a like door latch that you can put much higher, so it blocks the door from opening. And then we also have like door handle stoppers specifically for the office because we just don't want him to get in that room specifically. Number 7 is AirPods, and I'll tell you why. Because when you're making phone calls or any kind of Bluetooth earphones, because the ones with wires are nice, but he just likes to pull them out. But having AirPods is like very useful if you're making a phone call. Then all of a sudden you don't have to have your phone here and you're not on speaker, so like the person on the phone can just hear your kids screaming in the background or whatever's going on. So you got them in your ears, and you can do a bunch of things while you're talking on the phone. You can also use them for other things as well, like listening to things while you're doing other things without your kid always pulling on wires. So AirPods. Number 8 is using a dish mat or a bath mat, like something very absorbent, whenever you're doing some kind of sensory activity that's very wet. Another thing you could do is also use a baking sheet, so in order to contain the mess as well. But just like instead of letting water spill everywhere and things like that. This one is not particularly messy, but sometimes we do pouring activities and that gets all over everywhere, and it takes like 3 towels to wipe up, but this is extremely absorbent, so that does the trick. So any kind of messy liquid play you can do on that, and all of a sudden it absorbs a lot, so there's way less mess to try to clean up afterwards. Number 9 is stand-up diaper changes, and I know I think it's a Montessori thing, I don't really know, but I found that helps a lot. It is risky, especially with a little boy, but sometimes he just doesn't want to lie down, so we just do stand-up diaper changes, and all of a sudden like he's a much more willing participant. Number 10 is to try to make them help you with chores. So even if it's something as simple as like switching the laundry, like you just give them one thing while you're switching the laundry to put in the dryer and things like that. Like Kainoa Lo loves doing that with me. He loves it when I'm transferring all the big load and then just like give him a couple pieces and then he puts them in himself and then he closes the door and he's so proud of himself and good job, you know? So yeah, you can do that. Obviously with the laundry, you know, you can give them broom or mop or whatever, like they won't do they won't actually clean anything, but like they just like to be involved, you know. Same when we're wiping things down, like always give him a cloth and he loves to wipe down. Number 11 is to put the mirror of the car seat vertically. I feel like, I mean, honestly, to be honest, either way is going to be annoying, because if you put it horizontally, so like this, sometimes it's hard to have their face in it, like sometimes it's too high, too low, so it's kind of annoying that way. But then when you put it vertically, sometimes it's a little bit to the left, to the right, and you still have difficulty finding their face. Like they just need to make like a very ginormous mirror for their back seat somehow. But I personally find it easier to get his face in the frame when I put it vertically. My husband does not, so that's something you can try, but I don't know if it will work. Alright, and finally, the last one is to use guided access on your phone. Specifically on iPhones. I don't actually know if it exists or how to do it on other kinds of phones, but I'll show you real quick how to do it on your phone, because basically what it does is guided access is something that you do where you just like triple click your lock button and then it freezes your screen. So you have the option to either freeze in an app but can still navigate within the app, or completely freeze the screen so nothing is touchable. And then to unlock it, you have to press the button 3 times again, and then you have to enter a passcode that you chose. So with that, basically, as much as I really don't like giving my phone to Kainoa, because then like getting it back is like the worst battle. It always leads to a tantrum, like in a pinch, you know. You can do that. So if you're on FaceTime or if you're playing a movie or whatever you're doing, even like sometimes I let him play with a calculator or like the camera, you know, and let him take pictures. I freeze him either in the app so he can use it, like the calculator or the camera he can use, or if he's watching a movie or on FaceTime, then I completely freeze the app so he can't hang up, he can't stop the movie, any of that stuff, right? So I'll show you how to do that right now. Alright, so first you'll go into your settings, and then you'll scroll down to the general section and click accessibility. And then at the bottom of accessibility, there's a section that starts with guided access. So you'll click it, and then you'll probably have to turn it on. And then you can go into password setting and set a password. There's also a Face ID, but it doesn't really work for me. I always use a password. And then you'll be prompted to select a password and then repeat it, confirm it. And then you're basically all set. When you go back, you also have the option to have an accessibility shortcut, which is basically when you pull the top right corner of your phone, you can add it to the screen. So I have it right there at the very bottom. It's the one with the little lock on it, and so that way you can access it that way as well. The way to turn it on manually is to triple press your lock button, and then that will start it automatically. Now I'm gonna go on YouTube just because I don't want to get copyrighted, so I'm using my own videos. But basically, when you want to watch a movie on Disney Plus or like any other app or something like that, you can open the movie and then either triple click the side button, or you can also use the shortcut, and then it will automatically start. And then when you want to stop it, you triple press the button again, and then in that case you have 2 options. So you can either end it, or if you want to change the settings, that's when you'll do it too. So right now it's great because it's a frozen screen, so that means you can't touch the screen, like nothing will happen if you touch the screen. And so that's perfect for movies or anything you don't want your kid to basically move anything around, delete anything. But then in option at the bottom, you have the option to also add touch. So if you're in an app like a game or a camera, calculator, whatever it is, and you want them to play inside the app but not be able to exit the app, then that's how you would do it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. When you're done, you can press the end button and it should end your session. So yeah, guided access is such a lifesaver. Like, it's really godly invented thing. Anyways, so I think that's all the hacks I have. I'm sure there's like many more I didn't think of. So if you want to leave them in the comments below, please do. Can always use a few more little things we can do to help our lives out a little bit as toddler parents. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!